Hello guys, welcome to this last session under our short Linux tutorial series. For this particular session, we are going to talk about a few basic Linux commands and how you can execute them. We'll talk about the echo command, which is used to display string. Then we'll also learn about how to set and unset a variable. But before we do that, make sure that you enable both subscribe button and bell icon so that you never miss any interesting update from Intellipaat YouTube channel. That being said, let's get started with the session.
Hey guys, welcome back to this Linux course. So now, as we've already installed CentOS and also we've added the guest editions, so right now I think we can get started with Linux itself. So first we'll be looking at some basic Linux commands so that we can get started with Linux easily. So these are for understanding how exactly Linux works. So first we'll look at some basic commands. So moving ahead. Okay, so first we'll look at these command and their tasks. So pwd shows the present working directory, whoami shows the username, date shows the date and time, and then so there are still more commands, who, make directory, cat, move. So now let us start from the first pwd and try executing these. So I have my virtual machine opened, so I've opened it. So once it's open, we can start off with the process. I'll open terminal. As I told you, terminals are emulating shells. They are emulators of shells where you can type in commands and it works like a command line interface. So let's get started with that once it comes. So now I'll open terminal. I'll just click here. Okay, so it's running, and so first was pwd. If I type this in, you can see /home/Intellipaat. So you can see that over here. So this is my present working directory. So under Intellipaat, right now I'm working. So that's why just showing it as the present working directory. So let's say I go back, and now if I do a pwd, it shows home because I'm in the home directory. So that's how this works. That's how pwd works, and it's one of the important commands you'll have to remember. It's pretty simple. So let's say you have navigated into multiple directories, you exactly do not know where, so you can just do a pwd and check that for yourself. Now next one is whoami. So whoami is again a simple command, but it shows you which username have you used to log in. So let's say you have 5 different users. Now you can basically you can log into this particular CentOS system from multiple users, as multiple users. So if you might have forgot which user you are using as, you can just type in this command and it will give you the username. And then there is date history. So again, I'm going to type in date. It shows you the date, Friday, January 31, and it shows the time and it shows the year. Okay, so we've seen that. So this is Eastern Standard Time, so that's what it's showing. So next we have history. We'll see history later. Then we have copy, we have remove, we have clear, man, exit, and cat, move, alias, echo, ls. So echo we'll see later, ls we'll see later, because we'll do these commands in detail. We'll learn about these commands in detail. Right now I'll just start off with the basic commands. So let me clear this. So right now you have cleared it, and you want to see what and all commands you have used still, so that you can take out the command and use it again. So for that, you have this command called history. Once you type in history, you can see all the commands which you have executed previously. So you have history, clear, date, whoami, and pwd, and these were previously entered. So it also shows the previous history. So this is why you need history. If you would have forgot any command, you can just type in history and copy that and paste it within this. And so let's say I have forgotten this, so I'll just copy this and paste it over here. So this is what history. And then one more thing is touch and one.txt. So the file got created, but it won't open. So you can see the file got created over there. So now there are various text editors. We'll learn about text editors as well. So right now I'll just open it, nano.txt, and hello world. To save, it is Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. So I've saved the file and the file is ready right now. So let's say I want to see the contents of the file without opening the file. So how can you do that? So it's pretty simple. You can use the command cat and type in the file name. So cat1.txt, and you can see the typed in the file's contents over here. So this is why you can use cat. And another thing, so let me create another file, 2.txt, and right now you have a 1.txt and a 2.txt file. So you want to copy the contents of 1.txt to 2.txt, you use the copy command, which is cp, then source, then destination. So once I've entered, so now if I do a cat of 2.txt, you can see hello world inside that. I will not open those files, I just use the command cp, which copied the contents of the first file into the second file. So you can use this. Also you can do one more thing, that is move 1.txt to 3.txt. So right now there is a 3.txt file, but there is no 1.txt file, because I moved the contents of 1.txt as well as the file, I moved it into 3.txt. So right now if I do a cat of the file 3.txt, you will see the same content inside that. Again, I can move it back by using this command. So this is the move command. You can basically move a file within a directory, or you can also move a file outside of a directory. So let's say move 1.txt slash home slash 1.txt. So I want to move it to a file which is not in this directory. So it's showing permission denied, cannot move. So let me add a sudo in front and check. So I've given the permission. So now you can see here the 1.txt file is not there. So going back, so I'm in the home directory, and here you can see the 1.txt file, and if I do a cat, it should have the same content, because I just moved the file here. I did not just move the file, also I moved the contents of that file. So again I'm going to move it back to my directory which I was working in. So we can see that over here. So it's showing permission denied, the root user. So now going into, now you can see the 1.txt and 2.txt files are already available. And then there are other commands like alias. Alias is one more command which is very helpful. Clear this, and again clear is one of the most commonly used commands. So if you hit clear, it will be cleared. The contents will not be deleted, basically it will be moved up. So this is how clear works. So I've cleared it. So now I want to use alias. So let's say you are creating a big command. So for now I'm not going to create a big command, but let's say you're let's consider pwd is a huge command, and you don't want to type in this huge command again and again. So what you can do is you can use the command alias, and you can provide a name, something like let's say p, and then pwdp. So this is not the syntax of alias. So we should do it like this. So alias, name of the alias, and then equal to the command which you want to see, pwd. So done. So now if I just type p, it will show me the command's output. So if I type in p, it is showing me the present working directory. So you can use alias for huge commands which you don't want to type again and again. You can basically do an alias, give a name for that command, and then enter that complete command within the single quote, and then hit enter. Then after that you don't need to type in that command again and again, you can just use that word. So again we've done this. So next we'll see more commands. We have who and we have w. So first let me type in who, and you can see Intellipaat tty2 and this is the username, this is the terminal, this is the time and date when I logged in. So now if I type in w, it will again show the username, the terminal, the login, the idle time, the time which CPU was used, and you can see currently what process is running. So I'm not using this process, this is a background process which is running, but who just shows the username and when was that particular user logged in. But W shows more than that. It will show the number of users currently using the system, how long has this particular user has been using the system, and you can see also the idle time. So this is what idle time, and you can see the current process which is running in the background. And then there is we've seen move, alias, then we did not see make directory, and then clear we saw man. So one of the important things one of the important commands is man. So now what manual page you want? So man is basically a manual page for any command. So let's say I don't know what exactly W is. So I put man W. So it takes me to a page which has the entire content of what exactly is W and how can I use it. So you can see W, show who is logged on and what they are doing. So let me quit. Now let me do man who. Show who is logged in. That's it. So that's what I was trying to explain, the difference between who and W. So let me quit again. Now let me give who am I. So print effective user ID. It just shows the username. So you can use man to see any manual page. So let's say man grep. Grep is one of the important commands which we'll be learning. But right now grep prints lines matching a pattern. You can basically, let's say there are so many files or so many directories inside one particular directory, and you want to search for a particular pattern and just print that. So in that cases you can use grep. So right now I'm just showing this because you can see the entire page is dedicated for options and what grep does, and so much information about grep. And you can see concatenation, repetition. You can read this complete page and understand what exactly this particular command does. Q is the command to exit. So we've seen man. So next we'll have to see some commands to create directories. So right now you can see there are some directories: desktop, documents, CD. CD is one of the important commands. CD is change directory. CD and the directory name, sorry, it's case sensitive. So CD and the directory name takes you inside the directory. So if I do a pwd, you can see that. So CD dot dot takes you back, and I think CD dot, yeah, so CD dot does nothing. Another thing is CD, it's not just you can only change the directory from the directories which are shown here. So you can also do this. So CD slash, now it took me to root. So I can again come back to Intellipaat directly from the root with this command. So now if I do, I'm inside Intellipaat. So CD is one important command, and again ls is also an important command which is used to basically list the contents inside a directory. So ls also, again, there are so many different options for ls. We'll learn that in detail. So now let's just understand the basics. Then again finally we'll see this command and finish off with this particular session. So final is directories. So because you need to create directories are basically folders. So to create them, the command is mkdir and the directory name. So the directory name is going to be, let's say, my first dir. So now if I see, there will be a directory named my first dir, and if I do my first dir, and one more shortcut is, if you type something my first, and if there is no other so you can see here there is no other directory with the same letters which it has. So after typing in like 3-4 characters, hit tab, it'll autofill your file name or directory name. So now I'm inside my directory. So you can see that this is how you create a directory. And to delete a directory, again it is rm dir, delete a directory, my first dir. So now the directory is deleted. To delete a file, it is rm1.txt. If you want to delete multiple files, you can do this. So if you do this, both the files will be deleted. You can see that. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create again 2 files, and I'm going to show you another way of deleting them. I'll create 3 files. So you can see I've created 3 files. So now rm star txt. So what this is going to do is, star in the sense it will consider any character there, and after those characters .txt should be there. If this is there in under this particular directory, it will delete all those files. So I've given that. So now you can see all those files got deleted. So guys, we've seen the basic Linux commands. Going back here, we've seen the basic Linux commands here, and you can see these are some commands which I executed and kept as an example. And then yeah, so we've done the basic Linux commands. So guys, we've seen the basic Linux commands which are needed to start with Linux, any Linux distribution. Those commands are the same. So right now we are going to see another command which is called echo, and it is one of the most important commands which you have to know. So moving ahead, so first, what exactly is echo? Echo is used to display a line of text or string by passing it as an argument. So now you can see this example over here, echo Intellipaat. It basically printed that over here. So again you can see over here echo, so sorry for that. Again you can see over here echo display text, display line of text. So this is what it does, displays a line of text, and there are some descriptions, trailing new line. So these are some examples which we'll be doing. So right now just remember this, it is basically a command to display a line of text or string. So now there are some options, you can use these options while using echo. So echo, and if you use a -n, it gives you the output without a new line. It adds that particular option to the same line itself. So first, so let me clear this just a second. An option to, so I'll just make it huge so that it's clearly visible. Okay, so right now I've zoomed in. So guys, I wanted to show echo. So echo hello, so you can see it has printed hello. So echo hello world, how are you? It can also print a complete line, and then so if you do this hello -n, so as I told you, it will not use a new line, it prints with the command line itself. So this is one option of echo. Then another option is -e. This will allow usage of backslash escapes. So there are some backslash escapes. There is B, there's N, T, B. So B removes the space between text, and N prints the text in a new line, then does a horizontal tab, does a vertical tab. So let us execute these one by one. So first, let me do this. So if I type hello slash, so I'm using /B. So I don't want space between these two lines, but if I do this, it won't work because /B is not escaped over here. So coming back here, and also I've typed it in wrong. So even though if I've typed in the slash correctly, so again you can see the slash is not there, but B has been added. So to escape this, you can use the option -e, hello B world. So I think I'm doing another mistake. So the thing is, I think we'll try with quotes. Yeah, so that's what /B basically, again I did not put in quotes, so it thought that is again a part of the string itself. So right now I've used -e to escape the particular option, that is \B. So now hello world, in between that I used /B, and it removed the space between hello world. Now one more thing is /n. /n separates the words and prints them in separate lines. So let's say hello world, how are you? So you can see that hello world, how are you? So hello is in one line, and after that I have a new line. World how is in one line, then after that I have a new line, then are you. So this is one, and then you have two most commonly used ones, which are /h and /t. So /t does basically a horizontal tab, you can see here /t does a horizontal tab, /v does a vertical tab. So going here /v, and now you can see that horizontal tab, it left in 8 spaces or a tab between hello and world, and vertical tab is basically a new line, but it will be on the same line, but it will be a line different. So let's see them with both, and now these are /t's. Now let's see both of them with /v's. And now you can see the difference. So here when we did hello world are you, here we used a /t and here we used a /v. But right now I'm using, in both the places I'm using /v. Basically they'll be in the same position as the same line, but they will be a line apart. So this is how you use these options. So now I've also added some examples over here, the same kind of examples, how are you, and /v, /t, /b, all these examples. And one more thing I wanted to show is you can do this with echo. So now x I'm putting in a variable and I'm just giving it some random number. So now if I do a $x, you can print the variable. So this is one of the most useful things about echo. Again going back, and you can do one more thing, like if you do an ls, you see all the subdirectories of that particular directory. You can also do that with echo tar, so you can see them, but they will not be displayed in a colorful manner. Ls actually differentiates between directories and files, but echo cannot do that. It just prints what are the contents of that particular directory. Going back, what are the examples? Yeah, there is one more example for expression. So let's say I have already entered the value for x. Let me enter a value for y. Yeah, so now echo dollar. This is the format. So now x and plus. So let me try this. If it works, then it's fine. Yeah, so it's 79. So it has added 23 and 56. So the problem is, if you do this $x plus $y, it will not print it. It just prints the content of x separately and y separately. But to do an arithmetic operation, you will have to put dollar in the front and two parentheses, and in between you will have to write in the arithmetic operation. So let's say you want to subtract them, then you can go ahead and do it like this. So this is how you use the echo command, and these are the basic examples of it. So we've seen echo and other basic Linux commands. Now we are going to see set and unset. So set again is a command, but there are various types of doing it. There are various commands to set a variable, and there is this unset command. So if you have set already a variable as a global variable or a local variable, you can use the unset command to remove that. So now let's get started. First we'll learn what is set and unset. So first, the set command is a built-in function in bash and few other shells which you can use to define the values of system variables. Set is not required to set a variable. There are various ways to do it. So as I told you, set is the command. So in the backend, that is the command which will run. So I did x is equal to a number in the last session for doing an echo of it. So when I did that, it automatically took it as a variable. So that particular operation is a set operation. Set need not to be a command to be used, but that is the operation which happens whenever you are trying to give a variable a value. So you can use the command export to create environment variables. So while you create environment variables, you are using the command export. Basically, again, that is a set operation. Export is another command to set environment variables. Even though setting environment variables and variables are similar, the only difference is environment variables are for the complete system. Globally, it is available, but normally setting a variable like x is equal to 23 are locally available. They are local variables. And finally, the unset command. The unset command is a built-in function in bash which you can use to remove a variable which is set. So if you have already set a variable using export, then you can use the unset command to remove them. So going ahead, we'll see some options. The first option is -b, notify of job termination immediately. Second one is -e, exit immediately if a command exits with a non-zero status. Then third one is job control will be enabled. And fourth option is pretty good. So all export, these are basically other options. You can see these options over here. You can use the set command to turn off or on particular functions. So all export in the sense, if you have not enabled this, then you cannot use the export command. If you have enabled this, then you can use the export command. So we'll see some examples first. So you can see hello 1, echo hello. This is what we did in the last. So this is done. This is for local variable, and this again the same thing. This is a global variable, and yeah, echo $hello 1, echo $x, unset hello, echo $hello $x. It's only printing the value of x, not hello, because we removed that variable. And then again here, hello 1, export hello. We have made hello into a global variable. So echo hello is showing. Again, we are entering another bash, and under the bash we are trying to do that, but again we are getting the value. But in this particular example, you can see we entered another shell, but under that shell you cannot see the value of hello because it's a local variable. When you use export, it becomes a global variable. So now this is one way of making a variable global, and there is another way which is export x is equal to 2. Instead of providing hello equal to 1 then export hello, you can just put export hello equal to 1. So that will be more than enough. And then you can see this set plus o. This is where set command comes in. So you can basically stop or start particular operations in your system. So if you have installed, so there is a particular text editor called Emacs. It might not be installed in default. You can install it later. So even though if you have installed it, you can basically use it. If it is -o, that means you cannot launch Emacs. If it is +o, then you can launch Emacs. So you can use the set command to stop and start particular operations. So that's one of the useful examples. So you can see to do that, set -o all export. If I do a set +o, it shows all the set operations over here, and you can see that it shows all export has become -o. That means I cannot use export. And here it's +o. Okay, so we've seen that. Now let's go and do the same commands in the operating system. So let me open it. I've entered the wrong password. Now I've entered it right. Okay, so right now guys, let's do some operations. So we did this hello, so let me use x itself. So x equal to 45. So let me echo this. So it's showing the value. Now if you enter bash, because as I told you in CentOS the default shell is bash, and if I use bash, so now I'm inside another shell. So you can see that if I do an ls, it's showing the content, but if I do an echo, it does not show the value. So basically this particular shell does not have the value for x. So here I can so let's say I'm giving 76, and if I'm doing an echo of x, so it's showing 76. But you might think, won't this overwrite the value of my already created x variable? So to exit a bash shell, it's basically exit. For any shell, it's exit. So if I do an exit, it comes out. So now again, if I do an echo of my command, now it again shows 45. Why it shows 45? Because that particular x is equal to 76. I've set the variable x as 76 in the bash which I launched recently, but the variable x which was already available, which I already set, had the value as 45. So I did not make my x variable global when I first created it. Again, I did not make it global when I again created it inside another shell, so that each shells have their own values for x right now because they are local. So now how to make it global? So it's pretty simple. I already have a variable called x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this command export x. Right now, sorry, I don't know why I did ls, but export x, right now it made my x variable as global. So right now I'll do a $x over here. So you can see that my $x is 45 here. Now let me do bash and try it over here, and again it shows 45. Because I made my x variable global, it overread. So basically I made my x variable global. This made this particular variable's value the same in every single shell. So you can launch another shell over here, but still the value of x will remain the same because it is now a global variable with the same value throughout the entire system. Now I'm clearing it, sorry, I'm exiting it. So this is how you use export. One more way of using export is like this: export y equal to 67. So now this would have already become a global variable. So other examples I wanted to show are I've shown these 3 examples, and then I wanted to show set command. So I'll clear this. Now set, just I'll enter set, then you can see every single function, you can see every single variable which is set over here. So you can see columns 127, you can see every single value set over here. Mail, you can see the mails directory, you can see the old PW. This was the last time I used PW, and the last time when I used PW, this was it. So now let's try this once again. Let's do a new PWD, and now let me type in the set command. Now let's go up and check the old PWD. So now the value of old PWD should have been changed to the newly entered value which you just entered. Going up, I came to the top. So it's over here. No login, that should be here. We saw columns, final list, and then there is gnome home variable. Login name is Intellipaat home, and I'm not able to find old. It's over here again. It's the previous one. I'm not able to find the variable. Okay, so that's fine. So set, another option of set is one more thing I wanted to show is, so you can see this. So this was one of the important commands you should know. So let's say you've done let's say alias and not alias, or so you can see I've did exclamation and I typed in just PW. So it already recognized the PW means PWD, and it shows the latest execution of it. So let's see EC, which is echo. So it shows the execution of it. So if you have typed in a command which you don't want to type in completely again, or you don't want to search it in history and again type it, you can basically put an exclamation and type in the first 2 letters of your command, and it will detect and show you the latest results of it. So this is one of the things. Then coming to set, let me type in set plus O, and now you can see all the operations over here. So set plus keyboard, set -0 monitor, set plus notify, and all of these. So basically I can do a set -0 and all export. So now if I do another, so now you can see it would have been changed to -O. So this particular option stopped this. So let me try. So to understand this better, the set command, so let's do this. So there is history over here. So let me type in history and it shows the complete history with the history command. So let us try this plus O history. So now let us do a plus O. So I think now it would have changed history. Where is it? History is plus O. Let's try history once again. So it's showing the complete set of everything. So now let us stop it once again. So basically it disables, but it does not stop it from working. So again, you can see history, the latest one. So this is, so now coming back to set, I think to understand set, you can check the manual page. So if I open it, it's not showing the exact command, but it's showing other things. So you can see bash, echo, enable, eval, execute, exit. It's showing all of the commands in this particular bash, but it's not considering set. Let me quit this. Now let us do a man for export. What exactly is export? So again, it's not showing that it is a default command. So now we've seen the export command and how to set a variable. Now let us see how to unset it. It's pretty simple. So now echo $x. So it has a variable. Then use the command unset and just type in x. So now let me run this again. So right now we don't have a variable. So this particular variable x does not have a value. So now I have unset that variable. So this is how you set it up. And there is one more command, env. So env is for setting environment variables. So if you type in env, you can see the complete environment variables, and you can see that username is Intellipaat, and then you can see user is Intellipaat again, and what else? So I wanted to show something relatable, so that's why I wanted to show this. And then there is the shell, because as I told you, the default shell here is bin bash. It is bash actually, so the location of bash is under bin, so that's why it is showing the shell over here. So this shows the environment variables. The set command basically shows the complete variables inside this virtual machine or this particular operating system. So the set command shows the entire variables of this complete operating system, but env just shows the environment variables of this particular operating system. Thank you.
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides Linux administration online training mentored by industry experts, the course link of which is given in the description below.